Hey, what's up, everyone? It's CJ Metal here. An earthquake just happened here in California about 10 minutes ago. I was just sitting upstairs writing the script for this episode, and all of a sudden, everything just started shaking. It was apparently a 6.6 seismograph, or whatever it's called, earthquake. Now, that's pretty big, and apparently it was felt all across Southern California, so it just really goes to show that you're never safe, and that California is definitely a earthquake friendly zone. So getting kind of scared because that was actually 6.6 is, like I said, quite big. And we haven't had an earthquake in a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if shit hits the fan and no more reviews. But until then, let's get started with this very special episode. Ah, yes, the 4th of July, the day America left England to get some of that sweet, sweet freedom. Now, this beautiful country will be turning 243 years old now. That may seem to be rather old, but compared to Grandma Europe, she's really just a teenager. A legal age teenager, I should say, and boy is she a fine piece of ass. So how do we, Americans, celebrate the birthday of this great nation? Simple, by having a huge party that consists of two things: fireworks and getting drunk. We blow shit up sky high, and then we post pictures and videos of said fireworks that no one asked for, nor wanted, nor likes. And at the same time, some of us will lose some fingers, some limbs, or even life altogether, due to being too close to the same fireworks that they try to take a selfie with. So, stupidity. But it's okay, it's called cleaning out the gene pool. Now, the other thing us Americans do on the 4th of July is get drunk, especially on cheap beer. We Americans love our cheap beer. The more it tastes like piss, the more we're willing to pay for it at a sports game and down gallons of it on the 4th of July, because that's just what we do. Anyways, enough about America. Let's get to the very special episode I have for you all today. So I figured, why not review an album by perhaps the most American band there is, Pantera. Because nothing screams America quite like Texas. Now, Pantera doesn't need an introduction. These guys have become one of the most well-known bands in the metal scene. Thanks to Dimebag's groovy guitar playing and Phil's aggressive vocals, the band was destined to be great. But which album to choose from? After thinking long and hard about it, I think I pick the best one to represent America. That being the 1992 release, Vulgar Display of Power. Now, I will admit, the first time I listened to this album, I honestly didn't think it was that good. But can a revisit to this album change my mind? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Now, on my initial review of this album, I gave it a 7 out of 10. And looking back at it, I don't really know why I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's definitely better than a 7 out of 10, but I'll get to that later. Now, what I really liked on this album was definitely the riffs. There's even some thrash riffs on the opening of fucking Hostile and Rise, while the rest of the tracks are more on the group side of things, which is, cool, fine, I guess. Anyways, so I know a lot of people go overboard on Dimebag and say stuff like, he is the greatest guitarist ever, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know about that, but I do think he deserves the credit he gets from people as being a very good guitar player. The guy did make some of the most iconic riffs in metal on this album. I mean, we got Walk, Mouth for War, and A New Level, just to name a few, honestly. I mean, you can make an argument that every single riff on this album is iconic in one sense or another. I mean, I think the guitar tone on this album really elevated it, because it's also quite good. It's distorted, dirty, and aggressive, and if I had to pick a guitar tone to represent metal, it would definitely be the guitar tone on this album. Now, speaking of metal, Phil really lets the listener have it on this one. Phil really just sounds pissed off, and it really gets the blood pumping and the adrenaline going. And there are, however, two tracks on this album that kind of go against that grain. Those being This Love and Hollow. Now, this may be crazy and stupid to say, but I didn't really care for them on this album. As individual songs, they're fine, they're perfect, they're great, no doubts there. But if you listen to the album from start to finish, those two tracks stick out. I mean, This Love starts with clean intro, and then, it shifts into the aggressive side of things, but that's only like halfway through. And none of the other tracks do that. Well, I guess with an exception of Hollow, which instead comes across more as a ballad-based track, which again is kind of weird, and it doesn't really fit with the rest of the album, which is more of an aggressive headbanger. However, with that being said, I still do think the album overall is still quite good. Like I said, as individual tracks, those two are fantastic, but listening to them from beginning to end, not so much. So I'm officially changing my rating from 7 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 for this album. I also wanted to let you all know that I actually had a lot more planned for this special review. However, due to the increasing strict rules of YouTube surrounding copyright and other things, I had to dial it back quite a bit. I've worked way too hard to have my channel deleted, so I'm not even gonna risk that. Now, you would think in a country where we pride ourselves on our freedom, that would mean that we would also have creative freedom. However, that isn't quite the case, and I know other countries as well have probably had the same issue. I know Europe has that whole thing where they're, banning memes or something? I forget, that was so long ago now, and I never really got into it, but I know that's just stupid. Now, I've seen a lot of other YouTubers get stuck in copyright hell and get demonetized for just saying a swear word, and there's just so much more crap that's going on, and it's really getting out of hand. I don't really know what's going to happen in the future with YouTube. I mean, YouTube's just become just a really annoying place because, like I said, everyone's just getting demonetized. There's even one channel called Carnage Counts whose entire channel got demonetized, and basically every single one of their videos got copywritten, stricken and stuff like that. So basically, that entire channel's gone now. They still post videos every once in a while now, thanks to Patreon, but it just goes to show that YouTube has become a control freak, and it's just craziness now. My channel is very small, if you couldn't tell from my 50 subscribers. Thank you all for subscribing, by the way. And I don't think I'm ever going to get caught with anything, from the pictures I use and whatever else. But it just goes to show, though, that, it's YouTube's just... I don't know. But anyways, I hope you all enjoy this 4th of July. Make sure you stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't stick your head over a firework and stuff like that. Don't be stupid, people. Come on. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So, with that being said, I hope you all have a great day. Even if you're not an American, it's okay. I hope you all have a great day as well and enjoy just your normal 4th of July day, everyone. All right. Have fun.